Hello, motherfuckers, and welcome back to my podcast. You are now tuned in to Bells Be Speaking, and I am your host, Corey L. So that's Corey L or Corey L, aka Bells. And if you are not new here, and you already are familiar with my podcast, like I said, welcome back. I'm very happy to have you here. I'm finna go ahead and start off with my disclaimers before I get into the topic of this video. First and foremost, if you don't like cussing, if you a bit of a prude and you don't like to hear that, I suggest you go ahead and click the fuck off this video, click the fuck off this podcast episode, because I curse. So if you don't like that, go ahead and click off. Second one, if you don't like laughing, loud outbursts of laughing, or joyous talking, I suggest, again, that you click the fuck off this podcast episode, click off this video if you're watching it via video, because I laugh and I have a good time. I express how I feel, and if that's joy, then I'm going to express it. If you are a headphone user, you might want to turn your headphones down just a little bit or put me on speaker because I may have loud outbursts. And last but definitely not least, if you don't like me, if you are not a fan of me, which I mean, if you watching, you are, whether you want to admit it or not. But if you know you somebody that don't like me, I'm not your cup of tea, you don't prefer me, click the fuck off of this podcast. Quit being a weird bitch. Go do something else, you fucking weirdo. If you haven't seen my last podcast episode, I'll say it in this one just so you know. If you don't like fish, you don't get up and go to Long John Silver's to order your food for the day, right? You don't go and order your lunch or your dinner from Long John Silver's or Red Lobster because you don't like fish, right? If you don't like tacos, you don't get your ass up and go to Taco Bell to buy something to eat, do you? If you don't like raisins, you're not going to buy Raisin Bran, right? In other words, if you don't like something, you specifically don't interact with it, right? Okay, so apply that same mentality with me, my content, and anything else that I'm doing. Click off and stay off. Because you want to know something? It's weird and disturbing to keep interacting with something and actively seeking out something that you don't like. Don't leave no comments. Don't bye, bitch, goodbye. Okay? Now, drink your water and mind your business. My water of choice today is Aquafina. They didn't have no more Nestle's, is my normal preference. They didn't have that at the store, so I had to get a pack of Aquafinas. Doesn't matter which one you drinking as long as it ain't Arrowhead. Drink your water, mind your fucking business, and get ready for this podcast episode. Make sure you wash your ass. Before you get on this podcast, especially if you somebody that don't like me, bitch, did you wash your ass before you click this podcast episode on? Okay. Priorities, bitch. That's what I mean. All right. So for today's episode, or this episode, I should say, I'm going to talk about feeling like or identifying the fact that you want more in life or that you want more for yourself. You have these goals, you have these aspirations, whatever they may be, and you may even be working towards them. You may have been consistently working towards them, consistently thinking about them, planning on it, strategizing, or whatever in your head. And you may even be at the point where you feel frustrated because that thing has not happened yet, or it has not gone the way that you would like for it to have gone, right? So you can have all of that. But do you really feel comfortable? Like, would you, as of right now, do you really feel like if the thing that you wanted, or the different things, multiple things that you want, if they were to come through right now, like fall into your lap right now, right? Let's say, for instance, you want a new car. You want a Maserati truck, right? If the Maserati dealership were to call you right now and be like, hey, got this new model in that we think you may like. We randomly picked you out of a group of different people we have a new truck for you. Would you want to come and look at it to get the process started? We need to get these out of our showroom. Would you like to come in and have it, right? Would you feel comfortable with that? Or would the first thing in your mind be like to tense up and be like, oh shit, I knew I wanted a Maserati truck, but I didn't know if I wanted it right now. Because you're thinking about who gonna notice you having the car. Are you thinking about how excited you are and how comfortable you gonna be feeling about it? Like, yes, this shit came together. Like, what the fuck? This was way easier than I expected. Or are you gonna feel like it's a little bit unsafe, and are you gonna reject it a little bit because you feel like you need to live in a better area because you feel like your car won't be safe? Do you feel like you want a nice car, but when it comes time to actually having it in the real world, not just fantasy, not just your idea or daydreaming or whatever you want to call it, in real life, would you feel comfortable and safe having an expensive car like that? Right? And this is like the first thing that comes to your mind, the first thing that comes to your system, like in your spirit when you get butterflies and shit. Are those butterflies because you're excited because you're like, yes, I'm just excited? Or are you feeling those feelings because you feel like having a nice car attracts the wrong attention and you feel like someone is going to try to vandalize your car or try to break into your car because having good things means you're endangered? We're going to get into it. That's just one example. So the reason why I'm just hopping right into that right then and there is because if you are leaning more towards the other side of that spectrum where you're feeling nervous, you're feeling uncomfortable, you're feeling uneasy, that could be a reason as to why you don't have it. Because on the inside, on the spirit level, if that's the first thing that comes to your head, then your first mind is that you don't feel safe or comfortable having this thing. So you are subconsciously going to block and avoid this thing, even if you want it. You can have a picture of a Maserati truck on your vision board. You can have it as your screensaver. You can look at, it don't matter what all you do. If that's your first mind, your first feeling, your first instincts that come up is nervousness, scaredness, tenseness, feeling uncomfortable, feeling worried, feeling uneasy. Not that you have to feel over the moon, because I do feel like to a certain extent you can be nervous, right? Like just because somebody's on stage and they're nervous, that don't mean that they're not gonna perform and kill their performance. Like you can do both, right? But I'm gonna get into that a little bit more. But overall, do you feel, and you can't lie to yourself, it don't have to be a car either. It can be making more money, being in a different tax bracket. It could be, let's say you want to win the lottery and you instantly become a multi-millionaire. Let's say you get a ticket you win $5 million off of it. Are you instantly going to feel like, oh shit, I can't tell nobody, I can't talk about it, I gotta hide, I gotta keep this to myself because it's not safe for me to have this, it's not normal for me to have this? Or do you feel like $5 million is what you make in half of the year, so it'll just feel like extra play money? You know what I'm saying? Not the fact that you have to be a millionaire to be comfortable with making money, but it's a different feeling because if it's already been normal to you, you've already made $5 million before, you already have $5 million in the bank, even if you already got 500K, like you're accustomed to having money, you're accustomed to having large amounts of money and receiving large amounts of money. It's like, oh yeah, it's just more money. You don't feel like it's unsafe or it's uncomfortable or that you have to hide or corner yourself and curl up because it's not safe for you to have what you want because someone's gonna target you. Like, do you feel like getting what you want is gonna make you a target? Because if you feel like that, even if it's success, like if you feel like that, predominantly, right, 80 to 90% of you, or even more of you, feels like this mostly isn't safe though, this mostly is dangerous territory, then you're blocking yourself and you're self-sabotaging yourself from getting what you want and doing the steps that you need to take to make that happen or to even attract it, right? Because sometimes, like I said, for the lottery ticket example, you don't necessarily have to like do anything aside from going to the store, purchasing the ticket that you need, whatever. Like, you don't need to do anything to make the money be on the ticket. It's already there, right? But somehow, some way, whether you realize it or not, You're going to self-sabotage and literally make sure that that doesn't happen, because your brain's job, your intuition's job is here to protect you. So if you systematically feel like what you want is uncomfortable or dangerous, you're literally stopping yourself from getting it. When you see a hot stove, we don't put our hands on it because we know, oh, if I touch this, it's hot. Either from experience, from being something that's hot, burning your finger, somebody telling you, and you know it's dangerous, so you avoid it. It's no different for you to find this as a goal or something that you want. Your actions are not going to lead you to this because you feel like this is something that you need to be protected from or that you need to avoid. I had to look at it for myself, like what things that I am working towards and that I'm actively creating in my life. I'm glad that I came to this conclusion because I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe that's why I feel like it's being, sometimes you could feel like something is being held back or something is being held up or something. But maybe it's just the fact that you're delaying it because you feel like it's not the right territory somewhere. And it may not even be that actual thing. Like, I use the example of a car, a Maserati truck. And so consciously, at a basic level, you're more than likely not going to think that literal object itself is dangerous, right? With a car, a Maserati truck, you're probably not scared because you felt like, or you don't feel like it's dangerous or uncomfortable for you because you think the truck gonna fucking bite your leg. We're not talking about that. So don't be confused and don't get it twisted that because at a surface level, you're not scared of that actual thing. You might not be scared of someone putting $5,000 in your hand because you feel like it's going to eat your flesh. You might not literally be scared of it that way, but underneath that, if you feel like what this thing represents and what it attracts is negative, that still counts as being scared of it and avoiding it. The same way you avoid touching a hot plate or you avoid touching a fire. Why? Because that's what we do as humans. If you feel like this thing will make me a target for jealousy, this will make me a target for vandalism, this will make me a target for people trying to steal parts, then you're not going to actively seek it. Even with love, like, it doesn't even have to be a physical object or monetary. If you feel like overall, in general, you can't trust people, or you can't trust getting too close or into a relationship because it's like, oh, as soon as I start catching feelings, something go wrong. So you fear being vulnerable. You're going to stop yourself before you get too deep. You're going to find a reason for something. This is too good to be true. Because you don't trust people. You don't trust in what you want. You can write down on paper, oh, I want this type of relationship, da 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 da. But if it feels like in your face, like, because it's easy to identify something in your mind and even on paper compared to actually experiencing it on a 3D level consistently with your 5 senses, right? It's different because it's not so basic and two-dimensional when you're defining it. Now you're experiencing it. A man that can lead and that can provide and pay the bills and stuff like that. Okay, you can say that on a paper level, but on the inside beneath that, do you feel like money and relationships is a way of controlling people because you grew up either seeing it happen in your household or around other people where the men paid the bills, but they didn't do everything else and they didn't do this, and that, and the third. So the wives had to just stay in the picture with somebody who paid the bills, but they weren't happy with. Because if you feel like that, then you're going to avoid that, whether you know it or not, whether you realize it or not. If in your mind, you associate being financially taken care of by a man as ending up being stuck or controlled because he holds the power. If you feel like a man taking care of you means he got power over you and control over you, and then you have to sacrifice something, or you have to settle for a relationship that you're not really happy with because you have the stability, like you're giving up your happiness for stability. If you feel like that's what it ends up being, then guess what you're gonna do? Guess what you're gonna do? Take a wild guess before I say it. If you haven't guessed it already, that's okay. You're gonna go towards options, opportunities, habits, tendencies, thought patterns, and everything else that aligns with you being independent and paying all your own bills and taking pride in how much you don't have someone doing for you. Because why? That's where you feel comfortable. You may want the support, the financial support, because it takes a weight off of your shoulders. But in proportion, it doesn't outweigh the fact that you feel more comfortable with and you value more your independence and your autonomy, right? And it's not to say, like, the ultimate truth is not that. And you have to ask yourself that too. Like, when you're observing these things, like, if this is something, like I said, that you feel like you want, that you said you want, you've defined it, you wrote it down, made the vision clear, whatever else that you can say, right? You've done all of that. And now you're realizing, like, okay, this is this one thing I'm still struggling with. I'm not getting it. I challenge you to take it and look at it from this deeper level. You've already passed the basic level. The basic level is seeing what you have now and identifying what you want. That step is done. Level 2 is getting probably a little bit more clear on it. As we're going to these different levels or layers, if you will, that's getting it deeper and deeper into how you feel. And you have to look at it like that, because if you felt like it was safe, if you felt like it was comfortable, normal, the right thing to do, if that was what felt like regular to you, then you would be having it already. So if you're not, it's because you don't feel like that's what's normal, that's what's regular, that's what you're supposed to have, even if that's what you say you want, and even if that is really what you want. Just because you are independent and providing for yourself, and you may have even been raised to feel like, oh yeah, a woman is supposed to take care of herself, she don't depend on a man for this, don't do this, don't do that. You may have even been raised like that, right? But the fact that part of you wants someone else to come in and to share that with you, to share that load with you, and not only just the load, but their life, that means that part of you wants to grow into new territory, but it's foreign territory to you. And I really strongly feel like you have to be comfortable with what it is that you're asking for, or that you want, for that to come through. Because at this point, your brain is associating it as like a no-go zone. It's not going to bring it to you because you're literally telling it not to. With myself, I had to realize, like, I felt uncomfortable a little bit with having what I want because I felt like it would bring drama, just because of my past experiences with me having people that are like jealous hearted, having like confrontational a little bit, like verbally, not really physically. I mean, if they did get physical, they always got their ass beat. But so it's not like from a small standpoint, like, oh my gosh, they're gonna come do something to me. No. It's not that I had to duck issues or nothing like that, but I heard the example of love, since that was the last thing I used. I had to realize, like, even though I know I can have what I want and I know I can get what I want, like from who I want it from somebody that I deem as a good catch, that look good or whatever, is part of me avoiding it or feeling like I'm better off being single because I don't have no drama? Because in my mind, I've associated from past experiences having a good relationship with somebody that I actually like being drama, because from outside sources, not necessarily from our relationship. Like, guys don't give me no problems directly. It would always be from other people, like outsiders, exes, bitches that want to be with him, dudes that want to be with me, whatever, being jealous and trying to get in the way of something, and me feeling like they had the power a little bit to infiltrate what I had going on and ruin the vibe. So even though I know I'm a great match, and I know I'm the wife. More than just, oh, wife for title, like, because being a wife by title, sometimes that don't even mean shit. Like, you can be with somebody and quote unquote be their wife and they still don't even like your ass. When I say the wife, I mean, like, no, like, this is my heart. At the end of the day, no matter what, this is my dog. Like, that's how I feel. Like, that's how I'm gonna feel about my husband, and that's how my husband is gonna feel about me. Like, at the end of the day, nothing and nobody can come between us. I already know that love is there for me and it exists for me. And it's not even just from one person. I can take my pick and have that type of relationship. So it's not an ability thing for me. So I'm like, okay, well, what is it? Why is it that I know that I want that, and I know that that's the kind of relationship that not only I can have and that I've experienced similar to before, even though I've never been married before? Why is it that, in other words, I see myself not putting in the effort that I could to attract the relationship that I want because I feel like more comfortable being single, right? And just stay focused. This is not about being single over being married. That's a whole nother topic. Yes, I'm enjoying my single time. Yes, I'm enjoying my no kids, no marriage. Yes, I'm still enjoying the stage of life that I'm in right now. Don't get it twisted. Just stay focused. Just concentrate for a second. This is just about, in general, just assessing things like the disconnect. If there is a disconnect at all, assessing it. And then I realized, I'm like, okay, well, I felt like getting what I want meant like, oh, it's gonna upset somebody else, or it's gonna anger somebody else, and it's gonna be this and whatever. But at the bottom line, it feels like it will be uncomfortable. And I'm like, oh no, that shit gotta go. Because even though that may have been how I felt before, and even though that's a valid feeling, because like I said, based on my experiences, like, I can see why I would have come to that conclusion. But that doesn't fit for me no more. So I'm not going to keep carrying that with me, because at the end of the day, regardless of if it's tomorrow, next week, 2 months from now, whatever, if I want to be with my fucking man, I'm going to be with my man. And ain't not damn bitch, man, mama, daddy, cousin, brother, sister, uncle, best friend, high school, nothing. Not even a fucking mascot is going to get in the way of what I want or what I got going on, because I am deciding now and I'm realizing now that they don't have that power. They only have the power that I give them. So therefore, I don't have to carry this uncomfortable feeling and attach it to what it is that I want and let that stop me from what it is that I want, like, and deserve. But I had to look at it from that level, because the bottom line is, do I feel safe and comfortable with having the thing that I want? If it's money, do you feel comfortable with money, or do you feel like it makes you a target? Do you feel like people are only going to take advantage of you because at a core level you feel like people only want what you have to offer them and not you? So having more money would make you a target for people coming to ask you money. If that's the case, then you're going to always avoid or end up self-sabotaging and getting to the stuff that ain't paying you nothing but fucking dust, because you're going to avoid it. The point is, you're going to stay where you feel most comfortable, even if that's the thing that you don't want anymore. And the only reason why it feels comfortable is because that's what you are accustomed to. The work is, if there's any work at all, because I don't really feel like you got to work through every single thing for every little thing that you want and get in life. Some stuff can work out for you, or it can be gifted to you, or whatever. Like, I don't think everything is like goes like that, but in general, because it doesn't feel comfortable and your brain doesn't recognize it, you recognize the shit that you've already been in. Energetically, spiritually, somewhere it's familiar to you, so familiarity in your mind equals comfort. That's what was like a mind moment for me, because I'm like, oh, I want this, but I don't even really know if I feel comfortable with it all the way just yet. And again, like, going back to what I said about I don't feel like you have to be there all the way. Like, I still feel like that. I don't think it's all about getting to 100% on either end of the spectrum or being at 100%, because you can feel nervous and still feel comfortable a little bit. Like, I feel like it's a spectrum, right? But the goal is to be predominantly towards the end of faith. This is okay, this is regular, this is normal, this is just, it's whatever type shit for this specific thing, because then your brain or your nervous system won't feel like this is a threat or this is a danger. And then you can eradicate that inner turmoil because you want something, but what you want, you low-key resisting it, even though what you don't want no more, you there, even though you don't want it no more. Like, you can just eliminate all of that and just work with the energy of how it feels to have what you want and being comfortable with that. Again, like I said, I just challenge you to look at that in your area, for the different areas of your life, for the things that you want, and you may even be getting frustrated with because you don't have it. Okay, well, how am I rejecting it or resisting it or turning it away from me spiritually and energetically? Because that's where it starts first, and that's what brings it to me in the first place. So if somewhere in here is saying no, it ain't showing up on the outside. So I think I've pretty much made my point clear, though. So that's essentially what I'm trying to get at, or what point I'm making clear in this episode here, is I challenge you to look at what you're doing, either spiritually, energetically, or on the inside somewhere, that's resisting it, rejecting it, saying it's no, feeling like you're better off not having what you want. You need to take a deeper look at that and see why, unless you're comfortable with just not having what you want. Because so long as that is there, you're going to be away from what you want and not having it because you feel like it's more comfortable to not have something, or you're better off not having what you want than having it. But if you're serious about it, take a deeper look at it and work through it, and be compassionate with yourself, because I'm sure whatever reasons you had there are valid because they came from somewhere. But also be strong enough to tell yourself, okay, that's not the way this is going to go anymore. This is not what we believe anymore. At one point, for years straight, I believed Santa Claus was true and that Santa Claus was real, until I got older, and then I learned that Santa Claus isn't real, and then now I have a new belief system. This negative or limiting belief or assumption that I had in the first place isn't the ultimate truth, or isn't just the way that it go. Like, I don't have to just accept it. And again, like I said, you don't have to be there 100%, because you're still allowed to feel all your emotions. You still can be nervous and put on a show for 20,000 people and rock the fucking crowd out with your heart feeling like it's about to beat out your chest, and still do a good job. Because your emotions are there for a reason. Like, we have all of them for a reason, but you don't have to let them control you to the point where you're being deprived of what you want because you feel like it's not safe, or it's not comfortable, or it's not trustworthy. Thank y'all so much for listening. I'm curious to know what your perspective is. If you have a comment section where you're seeing this video at, or listening to this episode, let me know down below. And yeah, that's it. I love you guys. I love y'all that love me. And if you don't love me, fuck you, bitch. You shouldn't be watching this no way. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.